Welcome back to We Are Old, Get Over It. I'm your host, Ken Gluckman. We are in our moment of levity. Between seasons, if I sound slightly different or the studio looks different, well, it is. Let me tell you, after 14 years in one home, it is no fun moving to a new one. I think all of us should be listening to an episode from season 2, Downsizing the Right Way, what you do with all your stuff, move it or lose it. Anyway, back to moments of levity. I had the pleasure of interviewing Amanda Cohen, a stand-up comedian from Los Angeles, with her own perspective on humor. I hope you enjoy our interview, and I look forward to our upcoming season. Most importantly, please stay healthy and don't eat too much. Pick up the phone and call someone you haven't spoken with in a long time. You can reach out to me at weareoldpodcast@gmail.com. Make someone laugh each day. Now here is Amanda Cohen.
Not all related. I have to
No,
explain
we're
to
not
people
all
constantly,
related.
I'm not related to every Cohen out there. I'm not related to hardly any Cohens.
That's
Nobody
okay.
you know.
It's your real name is probably not even Cohen.
Oh, of course it isn't. When my
Yes.
great-grandfather got to Ellis Island, they told him his name was something like Corenswet, which I never thought much of until the new Superman came out. And the actor who plays the new Superman is named David Corenswet. So there's a slight chance I'm related to Superman.
That's amazing. That's really a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
Well, my family,
it's
the
not
actual,
likely, but
it's a good story. What happened in my family, when my family came over, they were Tchaikovsky, and they didn't know how to write the name out. So they asked for if he had another name, and they came up with the German for lucky man, and the name was Gluckman or Gluckman. And that's how I ended up with my name. It is what it is.
there's
Okay.
a lot of Gluckmans out there too.
There's a lot of Gluckmans. There's a lot of us out there. Okay. Anyway, Amanda, I want to thank you for joining me on the podcast today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Oh,
Thank you
I'm
for
sorry. We
having
just
me.
started.
Oh, are we done? Okay.
No, we're gonna get started now. Oh,
I
what
almost
pin are
forgot
you?
my merch. I got to put my merch on. It's my
Yeah, you
pin
better
that
put your
says
merch on.
nobody's mom. Yeah. Hang on a second. There we go. Okay. Now it's official.
Are you good now?
Nope.
All right. Bring it up close up so we can see it now. No, we don't want to see
never
your
good.
bra. No, don't.
You don't get to see my bra. There we go.
No, that's okay.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Well, it's a little
You're nobody's
twisted, but
mom.
yeah, that's the pin. That's my
That's
pin. I'm
good.
very proud to be nobody's mom.
That's good. Well,
So, yeah.
tell me a
Thank
little bit of, first of all, I want to invite everybody back to the podcast. We just let you get in on our conversations that we have before we usually start the podcast, where I'm very serious and I say, this is a serious subject. But because I'm speaking to a comedian, which is what I enjoy doing anyway, not being serious all the time, we're having fun and we hope you have fun. So the comedian, her name is Amanda Cohen. Amanda has been a stand-up comic for how long now? How many years have you been a
We
stand-up?
just say 20 years, not in a row.
Okay.
I
Why don't you
started
give
when
us?
I was 17. I did it for about 11 years.
Mhm.
I stopped for a little while to do improv at Second City, do a bunch of other improv and stuff. And then in 2015, I got back into it. So I just say 20 years.
That's good. That's wonderful. You know what? I
It's
did a
easier
little
to
background
explain
search
it.
on you on all this stuff, and I also found out that you entered a contest and you placed in the top 16 of the World Series of Comedy twice in 2019 and 2020.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Well, the pandemic helped. The the first time, 2019, was I had originally not been in the top 16. I was close, and I found out when one of the other guys in the top 16 couldn't make it to the finals, so I got bumped
Mhm.
up into the top 16. The year after that, a lot of the voting was online, based on clips rather than live shows.
Right.
That didn't. So, yeah, that one, there was a live finals, and I was in that. And the guy who won it, who absolutely was excellent and deserved it, he got COVID. nobody should have been out there doing live stand-up in
God
2020.
punished
That was
him.
just,
God punished him.
yeah, nobody punished him. It was just he was around too many people in Las
Yeah.
Vegas, and there was no reason to do that. So I was in, I'm like top 16 with an asterisk.
There you go.
So
That's
yeah,
okay. All right.
but
So one of my
I was
go ahead.
I think I was the only woman in the top 16 the first year,
You were the only
possibly
woman
not
in
the
the top
second year, but
16?
it was mostly guys.
Yeah. Well, isn't
There might have been one
stand-up
other.
comedy
Yeah.
mostly men? If you look at it, it's changed a little bit in recent years, but earlier on, it was mostly men, wasn't it? So how
Yes,
difficult
it's
was
always
it
been
for you to
mostly
get
men. It
in?
still is. We are. Oh, that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Me being funny has nothing to do with me being female. The difficulty is at the lower levels, just trying to get booked because, um, I mean, we're about 15% of the industry, maybe up to 20% these days, but we're still about 6 to 8% of people booked on shows. You look at any club's lineup for like the year or however long, and you'll find it's about 8% women, and that's just those are just the numbers we work with.
right.
So we have to take the opportunities we can and get as funny as we can.
So what made you decide that comedy was what you wanted to do when you went to Second City and the other places? And why did you decide you
I
wanted to
was
do
in comedy
stand-up?
way before Second City. I was in
Really?
comedy way before Second City.
When you were in
Oh, yes.
Pittsburgh, you did it,
Uh,
right?
when I was in Massachusetts, my first
Oh,
show,
really?
I was 17, and it was at my high school cabaret. And
Do you
yeah,
remember
that
the first joke you told?
of course, but I don't remember jokes. I remember the story I told,
Well, go ahead and
and it
tell
was
me that
about getting my
story.
no.
Come
I'll tell you
on.
what it was about. No,
Okay,
I don't
that's fine.
remember the whole bit. It was about getting my driver's license,
Okay,
and crushed it with that high school crowd. And went out to do the monthly open mic that was nearby, and died a very deserved, painful death because I wasn't ready for real shows,
right.
but I kept doing them anyway. We had a monthly open mic in Northampton, Massachusetts. I did that. That was the summer before I went to college in Pittsburgh. And then in Pittsburgh, I found places to do open mics. I, found excuses to create shows on campus, and I just kept working at it.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions and let's see what answers you give me. Okay. So the first question is no, not why you. What is
No,
the
I said,
single
try me.
oh, try you. I'm sorry. It's my big ears that are the problem. Okay. What is the single most absurd or embarrassing thing that has happened to you while you were on stage?
Well, it didn't exactly happen to me, but I was doing a show in Dayton. It was not Wiley's, it was the other club at the time. And I had just driven from Pittsburgh to Dayton about 5 hours with 103-degree temperature. I was so sick. All I wanted to do was just make it through hosting this show. I was miserable. Funny thing, and any comic will tell you this, it doesn't matter how you're feeling. When you get on stage, it all goes away. And I could feel it literally between jokes. Like I'm great when I'm telling a joke, and then it would all rush back in and just, but I am not the one who threw up on stage. That was actually guy in the audience right down front. It's actually a couple down front. And the woman threw up on the table. And the guy, such a gentleman, put his hat over it on the table.
Oh,
And
that was
I
nice.
was the one with 103-degree temperature. It was very, very strange.
Oh, what's the one
Probably
thing?
the most, and
Go ahead. No, I'm
oh,
sorry. I
go
didn't
ahead.
mean to interrupt you. No, no, no. Go ahead. You're
I
the
was going to
boss.
say,
Go ahead.
probably the delay is killing me here.
That's okay.
You know what the most important thing in comedy is?
No, what is it?
Timing.
Okay. That's good. I like that. I better
Let's
write
see.
that one down.
Probably, okay, you do that. Probably the most embarrassing show I had was actually a few years ago. I did a private gig, and it was in an Italian restaurant, and they told us we'd have a private room. We did not. I had to bring my own mic and amp. And it turned out to be in this long, thin room with two long, long tables. And apparently, the guy that they wanted had been booked on a cruise ship. So they got me instead. So they were not ready for whatever I was doing. So I was supposed to do 45 minutes. And at 20, the people who could hear me up front uh, loved it. I wasn't allowed to go dirty because we were in the middle of an Italian restaurant with only curtains around us, so everybody outside could hear, and there were kids in it. So I had to be clean. And the people who could hear me up front loved it. Everyone else was just eating and not paying attention. And about 25 minutes into my set, the organizer just walked up and took the mic out of my hand and said, "We're going to do awards now." But I couldn't leave because it was my sound system. So I had to sit and wait for them to do all, best attendance, most in Canada. I had to wait for that before I could get my stuff and leave with my tail between my legs. I was not proud of that. I was not proud of that. But gig's a gig, man.
That's right. Money's money.
And this happens a lot. When you do private gigs, you never know what you're going to get. We don't ask for a lot. We ask for a room. We ask for a sound system. We ask for money if we're lucky and lighting. It's not a lot. And it is amazing to me how many shows do not meet those basic criteria. Now, granted, I'm not at a level where I can make demands. I'm not working at fancy clubs that have everything. I
Mm-hmm.
take the gigs I can get. So
Right.
sometimes they're a little goofy.
Right.
But shows like that make it so when you get to a club where everyone is facing forward and you have a working mic and
Right.
great lights, it makes it so much easier.
Okay. What's the funniest piece of unsolicited advice you've ever received from an audience member or a heckler or someone who's in love with you? Let's put it that way.
Well, no one's ever been in love with me, so that's okay.
Aw, I'm in love with
The
you
funniest
already.
piece of advice I've ever gotten from that's a real shame. So sorry to hear that. I hope you get better.
I don't know. I'm older. I don't know how much better I'm going to
think
get. Go ahead.
the funniest piece of advice I've ever gotten is usually someone who says, "I got a joke you can use," and then it's incredibly racist or incredibly sexist, or more often than not about being Jewish. The one I remember most was, "Okay, I got a joke you can use." Okay. So, how was copper wire invented? Two Jews found a penny. That was the joke. And they said I should use that. And I'm like,
There you go.
"Oh, I get it.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much. What
I
do you
get it.
say? Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you."
then,
Yeah, you
right.
say,
Well,
"Oh, yeah, that's good." Usually what I try to do is just say the punchline ahead of time
right.
because I know most of the jokes they're going to try to tell me. So, yeah. And I also get the usual advice is you need to dress sexier. You got to show off your boobs. You got to do. It's like it's not my thing. It's not my style. I have no use for that. I mean, I have lately started doing jokes about my boobs because they're pretty prominent. You can't tell from here, but trust me, they're visible.
Well, stand
So
up. Let
I
me see.
sometimes address that. Nope, you'll have to find video.
Yeah. I already
Now,
saw you on video. It's okay. I do research on this,
here's the thing, though. I was briefly a burlesque performer. That's part of how I
Really.
got back into stand-up.
And,
I did.
okay. So I
I
have a couple of questions about that. Wait, let's stop right there. How did you become a burlesque person?
I was in a theater company that started its own burlesque show. It was one of the first neo burlesque shows, classic neo burlesque shows in Chicago before it got as popular as it is today. And I was friends with all of them, but I wasn't a dancer or anything. And I kind of worked up a couple comedic bits that I would do, not naked, but sort of comedy bits I would do, characters that I would do in the burlesque show. And eventually I just got to where, you know what, I'm gonna just try it. And I had a couple different acts that, result in mostly nudity, and that's just, what it is. And it was really fun. And then I produced a burlesque show that was Devo themed. All of the music was Devo. and it was called Whip It Out. Get it? Whip it out.
Did you get
And the
tips for
one rule of
tits?
the show is you could do
Did you hear what I said?
most burlesque shows do collect tips. Yes, I did, but I
Okay.
ignored it.
Okay. Well,
But
because you're a
most
professional.
burlesque shows do collect tips. Yes, because I'm a professional.
The absolute worst gig you've ever performed.
That would have been about, I was about 4 years in, and it was a New Year's Eve show. And it was for people under 21, and it was the day before New Year's Eve. And it was a heavy metal show where they had heavy metal bands. Again, this is 80s, so they were like, hair metal. And the entire audience is like 12 to 21 or 12 to 20. So teenagers, right?
Right.
And they told us, these are their words. They said, "This isn't HBO. You can't talk dirty. These are kids." Meanwhile, the hair metal bands are up there going, "Motherfucker," and we had to keep clean. So what they did is it would be a band, and then while they changed over the stage, there'd be a comedian, and then there'd be the band, and then another comedian. So, already that was a challenge. But they had no use for us. They would rather have just had house music playing and, done whatever they were doing in that audience. Vaping didn't exist then, and they weren't
No.
smoking. So I think they were just, I don't know what they were doing, but they didn't want to see comedy. And we tried. We really did. They were throwing stuff on stage, pennies and keys, whatever. And yeah, they had, but and of course, the booker was complaining, like, "You're not making them laugh." And we're like, "They're not here to laugh. You can't just plug in a comedian to fill space. It's not what we do."
That's right.
So that was a
That's
pretty
right.
rough show. But also, I was very new. I feel like I could pull it off today. At the time, no, I had no business being in front of that crowd. Also, I should mention it was in a theater that held about 600 people, and there were about
My goodness.
150 kids down front. That
Oh,
was it.
wow.
That was the whole show. So it was a failure all around.
All the way. Need to make your next event a success? The Comedy Machine provides elite comedians and professional magicians nationwide. We deliver top-tier talent that transforms any gathering, from corporate events to holiday parties, into a spectacular show. Stop searching and start laughing. Contact us now to book your unforgettable show. You can reach us at comedymachine@gmail.com. That's comedymachine@gmail.com. Or call us at 562-961-8495. That's 562-961-8495. The Comedy Machine Entertainment nationwide.